Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the Georgia Bulldogs. There's been a lot of talk here about Georgia, Kirby Smart, what he's been saying about, transition, going from Todd Monken to Mike Bobo, from Stetson Bennett to Carson Beck, from some of the huge defenders that they've had, like Nolan Smith, like Jalen Carter, to the current team that they have now. It's just a different team, and he's gonna talk a lot about, well, you guys are expecting this and that, talking to the media. You want more explosive plays. You want us to go out and dominate more people, but we're just learning who we are. But let me tell you something about the Georgia Bulldogs. At this point, being back-to-back national champions, you are a victim of your own success. There is a standard. I don't care who is in that uniform. Now, when the Power G is out there, there is a standard of play that is expected. And Kirby Smart himself said it in a press conference that says, I'm never happy with the results. He said, I expect to go out and dominate and make people never want to play you again. He said, we have not done that. We have played 3 average or below average first halves, and that is not acceptable for Georgia football. So nobody's going to feel sorry for Georgia. Particularly Kirby Smart's not going to feel sorry for himself, even though he's trying to say, hey, we're trying to figure things out. We're trying to get things under our belt and get some experience, and we showed some resolve and resiliency. Yes, they did, but they have yet to start a game fast. They have yet to execute well when it mattered the most in the red zone. And I put out a tweet yesterday. This is my tweet. I said, UGA had 3 drives of 12-plus plays versus South Carolina. In those drives, Georgia came away with 3 points. Drive number 1, 15 plays, 62 yards, settled for a field goal. Drive number 3, 13 plays, 72 yards, missed a field goal. Drive 7, 12 plays, 64 yards, missed a field goal. Moving the ball is not an issue. Red zone execution is. So there's multiple parts to this, okay? One, it's concerning that Georgia, an elite team, is dealing with problems with special teams in terms of place kicking and finding an accurate field goal kicker. They've got a freshman right now in Peyton Woodring, and then Jared Zirkle, who's been around the program for a while, that had, to this point, hasn't been able to beat out Peyton Woodring because he's not been doing the one kicking. So we'll see how that competition plays out. They're continuing to try to flesh that out. That's one thing. Secondly, man, it's kind of almost disturbing that Georgia has drives that are going that long, because that means the explosive plays aren't coming at a high enough rate, because you need to get bigger chunk plays than that. It's almost hard to matriculate your way down the field in that small of increments to be able to have 12, 13, and 15 play drives. Georgia needs those chunk plays. Brent Rollins at UGA Sports does an absolutely great job of breaking things down statistically, and he put out a report last night or this morning that come out and said, hey, in the second half of games, the play action passing of Georgia triples in percentage, and also you see the explosive plays go up. Carson Beck is very comfortable with the play action. Georgia always has a threat because of that massive offensive line of running the football, and people have to honor them running the football, because if not, they will just gash you with the run. So people have to sell out to stop the run, have to load up to try to combat the big offensive line that Georgia has, and also the talented backs that it has, especially with Dajian Edwards back. So that means it doesn't matter if you're running it for 3 yards a clip or 5 yards a clip. People are going to honor Georgia's run game. Get that play action pass going with Carson Beck, because that is where he is most comfortable. They don't do a whole lot of that in the first half of games, at least so far. And they're a 40-point favorite this week against UAB. It opened up at like 40.5 or something. I'm not sure what it is right now as we record this. But when it comes down to it, we need to see Georgia come out and beat Georgia. I don't care who's injured, who's available. the level of talent on that roster is unbelievably different than what is there for UAB. It is a night game environment, something that Georgia doesn't get often. Don't believe they got one all of last season. So it is a 7:30 kick Eastern. Go out there, start fast, get Carson Beck in the things that he's comfortable with early on, and get those explosive plays going, because no one is going to feel sorry for you. No one is going to give any excuses and cut any slack to the Georgia Bulldogs if they are not operating at a high clip to start off with, and need to see that trend reverse, because one time is just a occurrence, right? It's just something that happens. 2 times is, concerning. It's a pattern. 3 times is a trend. Well, there's been 3 instances right now where Georgia has not played well in the first half. It is a trend. Got to break that trend Saturday night against UAB before then you have a task to go on the road to an Auburn team.